Hey, I'm Jason, and I play the video games, and that's all you need to know. I hope to God this works. I'd be surprised if it didn't. But this time I've got something new, and hopefully better. My top 5 JRPG games of all time. For those who don't know, Japanese JRPG means Japanese role-playing game. Of course, I'm limited to the games I've played, and I'm going to make a rule for only one from a series, and, you know, the typical list. Anyway, onwards and upwards. Tale of Symphonia is about some guy named Lloyd who aids a chosen girl, Colette, regenerate the world. Whatever that really means. This is my first JRPG, and as such, I may be a bit nostalgia blinded, but I think it's still a good game. It even has the benefit of local multiplayer, although that isn't much anymore. Most games don't come with local multiplayer. I think that's a good point. But the story is very good, and I enjoyed it. It had some pretty cool twists. And I think the music's really good, especially this one playing right now. I really like the song. I think this is our spot number 5. But it's also getting an HD remake on the PS3, so we have that to look forward to. I'm so psyched. Etrian Odyssey is about your guild of whatever you decide to name it. I named it Finisher. And you're out to save the world. Like, that's a spoiler in a JRPG. You create a team from about 12 different classes and make them work together in various different ways. There's almost no way to not get a good combination. I mean, seriously, these classes are built for each other. It's kind of weird, actually. The music's really good, and it's fully orchestrated, which is different for a 3DS game, I think. I don't know. It looks pleasing, and it's about as difficult as I'd like my games to be. Challenging enough to give me a few game overs, but never outright unfair or cheap. Plus, once you get access to Toxic, the game might as well be over. It's just game over. The enemies don't even stand a chance. My personal favorite parts were the final bosses, though. That Titan was huge, and I loved it. Did an airship. Don't even know how that makes sense, but I love it. And also, the ending was really good, in my opinion. I mean, I know that's sort of lame to say the ending is the best part, but I loved it. Yay. Also, you get to draw a map, and maps are cool. Persona 'tis the story of a gallivanting youth who comes to some random city in the middle of nowhere. He hears of a murder and decides that crawling into TVs is the best possible reaction. He discovers the world and has wacky adventures with his friends. Yep, that's exactly what happens. Anyway, the gameplay is pretty good. It's turn-based strategy and you have a wide variety of skills, and I enjoy it. It's not my favorite, but it's pretty good. I like Etrian Odysseys better, but this game has the benefit of a Persona fusion system, which is really good. It's pretty much Pokemon if in order to evolve you have to glue two together and evolution. The music is pretty good. I like it. I like the boss themes the most. But honestly, the biggest reason it's here is because of Yusuke. Yosuke, however you want to say it. Also, if you play this game, make sure to remember that Nanako is the origami killer. Just a heads up. Here's a game that I don't think anyone knows of, and doesn't get enough recognition in my opinion. Wise, or some guy thought to name it Ys. Ys is about the adventures of adult Christian in the lands of Felghana, which is his partner's Dogi homeland. I think I said that wrong. The story isn't that great, and it's just sort of there to keep the game flowing. But the gameplay and the music make up for it immensely. The music uses violin, and violin in my rock music is better than life. And the battle system works really well as well. You have your basic attack, down thrust, your special move that heals you, which I thank the Lord for, and lets you do bonus damage as well, but it heals you. And 3 magic spells, which do different things. One is your only ranged attack, one lets you glide, which helps dodge attacks, one does damage, as well as making you invincible, and does a little damage. The only reason I beat this game was because of that dang super, I love that move, invincibility. Yes, invincibility is the love of my life. You are the chosen undead, sent to ring the bells on opposite halves of the land. That is all you will find out on the cover. Dark Souls wraps the rest of its story in a shroud, and that's why I love it. It opens discussion and makes theories about what really is the world. But most of you probably know it as that one super hard game people make funny videos of raging at. Some of you may not know what I'm talking about and who this annoying voice is inside your head. For Group B, I am a very hungry hippo and I demand more pylons. To Group 1, yes, it is that game, though it isn't really that bad of a game. Yeah, it's hard. I died plenty, but it's actually pretty fair with its deaths. Most deaths were probably my fault because I ran out of stamina or I just got too overwhelmed. Except the Bed of Chaos. Anyway, for those of you who like action RPGs, pick this up. It has lots of weapon variety and it's really intense. And the sequel is coming out soon, so it's a good time to be a fan. And by soon, though, I mean like next year, but you know, time's a relative thing. I just like to spend a moment here and say sorry if your favorite game didn't get in and whatever. I'm limited to the games I've beaten, and I've only included games on this list that I've beaten. Never beaten any of the Final Fantasies, although I've tried to beat like 6 and... I almost beat 4. That is the closest I got. I got to the final area. But a game I wanted to put on here was Monokahima, but I realized I never beat that game. I also got to the final boss and couldn't beat it, although I think I actually eventually could, but whatever. So if you're interested, go check out these games, and I think all of them are pretty cheap, with the exception of some of the older ones like Tales of Symphonia, which is $300, but what can you do? Time and money. Anyway, thank you for watching, even though you probably had no choice.